Hi, welcome to TrueRent.com. My name is Chris. In this video, I'll show you how to set up your TrueRent account and how to begin adding transactions. To begin, go to TrueRent.com, log in, and go to the main dashboard page. Next, go to Manage. In this case, we have no data saved, so we'll begin by adding a property. In the Add Properties section, you can add your first property. In this example, there are 2 units. It's a duplex, so we'll add 2 units. If there's more units, you can add more, or you can simply go up here and type in however many units you have and click Add, and that'll create the page for the number of units you have. We'll add an image of the property. Next, in the financial section, we can enter information about the purchase of the property and the current value. This will help TrueRent analyze your performance of your property. In this case, we paid $450,000 for the property. We bought it 1/31/2010, and the current price is $575,000. The current value is $575,000. We'll choose principal and interest. The loan is through Wells Fargo, and the loan balance is $352,000, and the monthly payment is $1,350 a month, and 4.5% interest, with 342 payments remaining in this example. If we want to add a second loan, choose Add Loan, and we can add as many loans as necessary. In this case, there's just one loan, so we'll get rid of that one. Next, we'll add the owner, who it's owned by. No owners have been added, so we'll click Add New. We'll add the owner of the property. And if there's a second owner or manager, we can add that information here. Next, we'll go to Save. That owner has been saved. We can go to the drop-down, add the owner. If there's an account attached, we can click the drop-down and add the account. And if it's managed, if the property is owned and managed by 2 different people, we can add the manager here. In this case, it's an owner-manager situation. The owner has been saved, Mike Scott. You can click on the owner section. There's Mike Scott's information. You can edit it by clicking the drop-down. Property, here's the information about the property. It's 123 Example Street. It's 2 units. There's no rent scheduled because we have not added a tenant yet. Property value $575,000. Loan amount is $352,000. We have $223,000 equity. If you want to edit that information, just simply click the line, and you can go down and edit whatever information you need to. If you made a mistake, you want to delete the property, click Delete, and you can delete the property. Next, we'll go to Add Tenants. We have no tenants added, so we'll click Add New Tenant. We'll add the first tenant. If we want to add multiple tenants, we can choose as many tenants as necessary. In this case, we have just one occupant, so we'll get rid of these extra tenants. The lease began 1/1/2014, and it ends 12/31/2014. It's a 1-year lease. The rent amount is $14.95 a month. The total deposit is $16.50. The rent is due on the 1st. It's delinquent on the 3rd. The delinquent amount is $75. We can add restrictions that we've added to the property. In this case, there's no pets, no smoking allowed. In the move-in condition, we can add things such as new paint, bathroom, carpet, and anything else that will help remind us of the condition of the property. We can also add files such as leases, applications, or photos, or anything else that will help remind you of the condition of the property or its important information regarding the property. Next, click Save. Now, in our tenant list, we have Brian Smith, Unit A, paying $14.95. You can click Details. It'll show you how much he's paid to date, which is 0. Since we just added the property, now we can go back and add his payments for the first half of the year. He's lived in the property 6 months, 2 weeks, and his lease expires in 5 months, 2 weeks. He's had 0 late payments recorded, and there's just 1 occupant. So now we'll add our second tenant, who lives in Unit B. We can import an application if it's saved in the application database. This tenant and we'll continue to add this person's information. And this person has 2 occupants. And we don't have this person's email address, so we'll skip that. The lease began today, which is July 16th, 2014, and it expires. It's a 6-month lease. Actually, it'll expire 3/31/2015. The rent amount is $17.50, and the deposit is $17.50. The rent is due on the 1st, delinquent on the 3rd, and the late payment fee is $85. Pets are allowed. 1 cat is okay, so we'll allow that. We can add our files here and other move-in conditions here, and we'll choose Save. Now we can learn more about this tenant here by clicking Details. They've lived in the property. They've paid 0 rent to date. Length of occupancy has been 1 day, 2 hours. And their lease expires in 8 months, 1 week. They've had 0 lates, and there are 2 occupants living in the property. Now we'll go to vendors. We'll add a new vendor, and we'll go to our drop down and choose what type of category. We'll choose repairs. You don't have to enter the contact information if you don't have it. In this case, we don't, so we'll choose add that vendor. We'll add our next vendor, which is San Francisco County Taxes, which is our property taxes. We can go down to taxes. These are all categories generated by the IRS, so when it comes time to file your taxes, everything will be organized based on what the IRS expects you to file. And there you go. And we'll add one more, for example, ABC plumber, in case you have to call the plumber, and that will be categorized under repairs. And that company is located at 123 Elm Street, San Francisco. For example. Now you've added a tenant, a property, an owner, and a vendor. You can also add banking information if you'd like. In this example, we'll continue on. And now we can take a look at our basic overall information. This will show us what our transactions to date are, which we've had no transactions. We have $32.45 scheduled per month in rents. Our investment analysis, this shows us how our properties are performing. We have a property value of $575,000, a loan amount of $352,000, our equity is $223,000, scheduled rent is $32.45. We're 100% occupied, and we have 2 units selected. You can adjust this filter here to change the unit selected, and this will give you an income statement for the current month and the previous month. You can go to snapshot, and it's kind of the same thing. It shows you the overall view, shows you how many properties selected, your annual projected rents, your loan to value, and your individual properties. This is really nice if you own multiple properties. It'll stack them all here, 3 per line and as many lines as necessary, and it'll combine all the information here. So let's add a transaction. Click on the transaction entry area. We've already added a property. We can add more properties here by clicking add new property or going back to the manage section. So we'll add rent for Smith, unit A. The rent amount is $14.95. It auto-populates. We received it today. Submit. And now we can see the rent has been added right here. If we need to edit it, you just click the rent amount and you can go in and make any changes that you need to make. Let's add rent for unit B, Love, $17.50 per month. That transaction has been successfully added. And let's make a repair. We'll click General. The plumber came out, he charged $125 to clear a drain. That was today. We paid him by a credit card. Submit. That transaction has been added. Next, we'll add our property taxes with San Francisco County. The taxes were $4,500 for the year. Click Save. We paid that back on the 1st of the month. We paid it by check. Save. And now that's been saved. And we'll add one more example of a loan or a payment to Wells Fargo of $13.50 was made. It was principal interest. Our interest amount was $989 and our principal amount was $361, which autofills. Click Done. Total payment was $13.50. Actually, on that loan, we made an additional principal payment of $200. So now our total payment was $15.50. We made that loan payment back on the 1st of the month with a check. And you can make additional notes here. Paid additional principal. And if you'd like to attach the statement, you can go here, click Attach. We won't do that in this example to save time. Now that payment has been made. So you can see we have a list of the payments made on the property. Now if we go down to, we can go back to the dashboard, go down, and you can see this information is starting to populate. Income has been $32.45, operating expenses $46.25. So you can see we have a negative operating income of $13.80 because the property taxes weren't included in that amount. And it'll give you the rest of the information there. If we want to see address book, we can go to address book. It'll show us information regarding our tenants and our vendors, and so on. If the value of the property changes, we can go in and update our property values. So that concludes this video. If you have any questions, you can email us anytime at support@TrueRent.com, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you.